Tell me if this sounds familiar. Your business is busy. Phones are ringing. Orders are coming in. Your team is tired. Your calendar is full. And yet, when you open your bank account at the end of the month, there's this quiet panic. You're thinking, we need funding. Not because you want to scale aggressively. Not because you've cracked product, market fit, and demand is exploding. But because cash feels tight, margins feel thin, and somehow, despite all the activity, there's not enough left over. So you start thinking about loans, or investors, or grants, or donors, or some external lifeline. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most SMEs don't have a funding problem. They have a revenue architecture problem. And today, I want to show you 5 hidden revenue streams, practical, underused, and immediately actionable, that most SMEs completely ignore before they go asking for money. Because here's the thing, if you don't fix these first, funding doesn't save you. It just delays the crash. My name is Arman, and I spend way too much time thinking about revenue streams. If you're someone who wants to optimize your revenue stream, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now, let me be very clear about what this video is not. This is not about flashy side hustles. This is not about adding complexity. And this is definitely not about working harder. This is about uncovering revenue that is already hiding inside your existing business. And yes, there will be numbers, real math, because vibes don't pay salaries. First, let's challenge a dangerous assumption. Most SME founders believe this. If we just had more capital, everything would work. But multiple studies say otherwise. According to CB Insight's post-mortem analysis of failed businesses, 38% of SMEs fail because they run out of cash, but only less than 10% fail due to lack of funding access. Translation? They weren't underfunded. They were under-earning from what they already had. This is where psychology matters. When revenue feels stressful, founders default to external solutions because they feel more powerful. Funding feels like progress. Fixing internal revenue leaks feels boring. But boring is where profit lives. So let's get into the first hidden revenue stream. Revenue stream number 1, price architecture optimization, not raising prices. Here's what most people don't realize. Pricing is not a number. It's a system. Most SMEs price their products or services based on what competitors charge, what feels reasonable, or worst of all, what they're afraid customers will accept. According to McKinsey, a 1% improvement in pricing increases profit by 8 to 11% on average. That's more impact than cost cutting or volume growth. Let's make this concrete. Real math example. Let's say your SME does $500,000 in annual revenue, 20% net margin equals $100,000 profit. A 3% pricing optimization, not across the board, but structurally, can realistically add $15,000 in additional revenue, which drops mostly to the bottom line result, 15% profit increase without selling more. No new staff, no new marketing, no funding, where this revenue is actually hiding, not in headline prices but in bundles, payment terms, volume thresholds, rush fees, customization premiums. Here's an analogy. Right now, most SMEs sell like a flat menu restaurant. But high-margin businesses sell like airlines. Same seat, same destination, different prices based on behavior. Psychological force at play. People don't mind paying more. They mind paying more without justification. When you reframe pricing around speed, risk reduction, convenience, priority access, customers self-select into higher value options. Action step, do this week. Take your top 3 offerings and create a good, better, best version. Anchor the middle option as default. Add 1 premium lever tied to urgency or certainty. Now, you might be thinking, Arman, my customers are price sensitive. Yes, some are, but not all. And your current pricing treats everyone as if they are. That's costing you money. Revenue stream number 2, monetizing what you already know, but give away for free. This is where it gets really interesting. Most SMEs are sitting on intellectual assets they've normalized as just part of doing business. Processes, checklists, templates, decision rules, training know-how. According to the OECD, SMEs that monetize knowledge assets grow revenue 1.7 times faster than those that don't. Storytime. I once worked with a manufacturing SME that kept answering the same customer questions, over and over. How do we prepare for inspection? What standards should we follow? What usually goes wrong? They turned that into a paid onboarding guide, a compliance prep package, a quarterly advisory add-on. That alone generated $40,000 annually, with 0 new staff. The psychology behind this: when you give expertise away for free, customers assume it has low value. When you package it, it signals confidence. It reduces uncertainty. It positions you as a category authority. People don't pay for information. They pay for clarity and reduced risk. Simple math. Let's say 10 clients per month, $100 advisory add-on. That's $12,000 per year. Now stack that across 3 knowledge products. This is not theory. This is math. Action step. Write down the 10 questions customers ask you most, the mistakes you help them avoid. Package one of them into a guide, a workshop, a paid onboarding step. Don't overthink the format. Clarity beats polish. Revenue stream number 3. Payment timing arbitrage, the cash flow nobody talks about. This one is painfully overlooked. Most SMEs obsess over how much they earn. Very few optimize when they get paid. According to U.S. bank data, 82% of business failures are linked to poor cash flow management, not profitability. Let that sink in. Here's the hidden revenue. Faster cash is cheaper money. If you reduce your average receivable cycle by even 15 days, you are effectively funding operations internally, reducing financing costs, increasing operational flexibility. Real example: if your monthly revenue is $50,000, 15 days faster collection equals $25,000 in freed cash. That's equivalent to a short-term loan with 0 interest. Psychological resistance. Founders say clients won't agree to upfront or milestone payments. Reality? You've never framed it correctly. Instead of asking for money sooner, offer small discounts for early payment, priority delivery, locked-in pricing. This is Behavioral Economics 101. People respond better to gains than to penalties. Action step. This week, identify one product or service where you can move from post-delivery billing to milestone billing. Test it with new clients only. New clients have no reference point. Use that. Revenue stream number 4. Underutilized assets. Your business is bigger than you think. Here's what most people don't realize. Your SME is not just what you sell. It's also your downtime, your excess capacity, your relationships, your access. According to Harvard Business Review, companies that actively monetize idle assets increase return on asset by up to 30%. Real-world examples: a logistics SME renting and used warehouse space, a training firm licensing content to partners, a service SME white-labeling internal tools. These are not side hustles. These are balance sheet optimizations. Psychological blind spot. Founders identify emotionally with their core offer. Everything else feels off-brand. But customers don't care about your identity. They care about utility. Action step. Ask yourself today: what assets do we have that sit idle at least 20% of the time? Who already trusts us enough to buy something adjacent? Revenue often hides in the margins of attention. Revenue stream number 5. Customer lifetime extension, the quietest profit lever. This one frustrates me because it's so obvious and so ignored. Most SMEs focus on acquisition. Very few design for retention expansion. According to Bain & Company, increasing customer retention by 5% increases profits by 25 to 95%. That range is not a typo. Why this works? Selling to existing customers. Costs less. Converts faster. Requires less trust building. Yet most SMEs stop the conversation after the invoice. Real math: if you have 100 customers, average annual value of $1,000, adding a $200 recurring add-on to just 30% of them, it is $6,000 in new annual revenue. Now multiply that across time. Action step: map your customer journey and ask, what problem appears after they buy from us? What support do they quietly need but don't articulate? Build a simple recurring solution around that. Why funding should be the last step, not the first. Now you might be thinking, Arman, all of this sounds good, but funding would still help us grow faster. Yes. After you fix these, funding amplifies systems. It does not fix broken ones. When you unlock these 5 revenue streams, you negotiate from strength. You fund growth internally. You avoid dependency. And most importantly, you regain control. Look, I know this stuff isn't glamorous. There's no overnight success here. No viral hack. No magic investor. But this is how real SMEs become resilient. Not by chasing money, but by earning better money from what they already do. If this video made you uncomfortable, in a good way, share it with another founder who's talking about funding but hasn't fixed their revenue yet. And if you want more practical, no-nonsense thinking on SME growth, decision systems, and revenue design, subscribe. Because guessing is expensive, and clarity compounds. I'll see you in the next one.